Welcome to Susty and City, the podcast where we talk about the joys and troubles of sustainable living. Today I have MJ with me. She is a celebrity makeup artist that specialises in vegan and cruelty-free beauty products. She is also a fellow content creator who specialises in, again, like sort of vegan stuff, wellness stuff. And right now she is sporting a really lovely, healthy, gorgeous baby bump. She is pregnant. Congratulations.
Thank you, darling. Thank you.
How far along are you?
Terrifyingly, I am due next month.
Next month. I'm so glad. Yeah, I needed to get you in urgently because I wanted to talk pregnancy. And I was like, she's been pregnant for a while now. I probably need to get this date in.
It normally lasts about 9 months, so.
Yeah. And I really got up to the deadline here.
This is probably the last day I'm up for it.
Yeah. Oh, God.
No, I'm fine.
How are you finding it?
Good, thank you. Good. Yeah. It was IVF, definitely been like a long journey. I feel like every time I've seen you for the past few years, I've been like, I'm still not pregnant. Now I am.
Congrats.
I'm just so grateful and so excited.
It looks like pregnancy suits you as well. You've got like that real glow. You seem to be having a good time of it.
I have heard if you have more like oily skin or more dry skin, it depends on if you're having a girl or boy.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
I don't know if this is like a complete fact, but it did make sense to me because if you have a girl, you're more likely to have more estrogen in your body. So you're more likely to put weight on, like on your sides, and more likely to come out in spots.
Okay.
And have more oily skin. But I've had quite dry skin, so I'm edging
you
towards.
Think you've got a boy?
Maybe, but my psychic thinks girl, so.
Oh, okay. But you haven't asked the doctor. You want to be kept in suspense.
Yeah. I'm glad I did as well. It makes it more exciting.
Okay, interesting. I'm going to bet on a boy. I trust you more than a psychic, basically, is what I'm saying here.
Thank you.
Have you thought about baby names?
Yes. Yeah, we've got some. We've got one.
Don't want to jinx it?
I'm not going to say it.
Okay.
I'll just. We've got one girl name, one boy name. And the only thing is, the girl name I thought was really rare. And then people keep saying to me, oh, I've thought of this really good girl name. And it's that name. I'm like, oh, is it becoming too common?
Are they kind of like old people names? Because they're coming back round, right? Like my little nephew who was born this year is called Ernest, which is
I love that name.
Yeah, it's such a granddad name though, isn't it?
Is he called Ernie for short?
Yeah.
I love that name. That's really cute.
Yeah.
The boy's name is, but it's very old-fashioned name.
Okay.
I've never heard of anyone called it before.
Okay.
And the girl's name is a bit more, like, spiritual.
Okay. Oh, I'm so curious. I can't wait to see what happens. Obviously, on this podcast, we love to talk about, like, sustainability and all that stuff. So, first off, like, how has it been going through your pregnancy and with sustainability in mind? Like, how has it been finding maternity clothes? How's it been kitting out the nursery if you've already started doing that?
Yeah.
Tell me all the joys and troubles.
Thank you. Honestly, I think that the world of pregnancy is quite overwhelming and really wasteful. There just seems to be so many adverts saying you need this cream, you need this oil, and there's just so much that we just don't need that much. So
do you think they play on like the insecurity of like new mums who just don't know what they're doing and just want to buy the solution and be as best prepared as possible, basically?
Definitely.
Okay.
And I think I'll get onto it later with skincare, but a lot of the time people are a bit uneasy about what ingredients they can and can't use. And most things are fine. There's like the odd little thing which they're not really recommended, but that's often not really proven. It's just that it can't be tested on a pregnant person, if that makes sense.
Okay.
It's unethical to test on a pregnant person. So most things are probably fine.
But they just haven't been proven safe. I get that. That's so interesting. Okay.
But even like, for example, like belly oils, that you can just use like coconut oils or whatever oils you've got. But there are some really nice ones. But that's the kind of thing that I think people think they need to just buy every single thing that's maternity. However, I've been loving the Weleda skincare, body care. Yeah. Well, no, there's like maternity range.
Okay.
But it all comes in glass bottles, so you just feel a bit better about that.
Very nice and sustainable.
Yeah, they're really nice. So the main things like body care I've been using are just a nice belly rub. I keep touching my tummy.
That's okay.
It's really hard not to just, hello, baby. And then when you get to my stage, you use perineum oil.
What's that?
It's an oil that you rub on your like perineum down there, your lady bits.
Oh.
It's supposed to help you not rip.
Oh, I imagine
that
you're actually not that big, but I imagine a lot of women would even struggle to rub a cream there after like so many months. It's like hard to.
Babe, I've not seen my lady parts for months. Honestly, I've got no idea what it looks like. Sorry, Henry. But that's the only thing that, like, those two things really, and maybe like a nice bubble bath that's
Yeah.
for pregnant people. But I think apart from that, we just don't need to waste our money.
Yeah.
It's quite overwhelming. And then in terms of clothes,
Yes. How's that been?
I think also same again, it's such a wasteful industry because if you think like you're a lot better at buying secondhand than me, I'm really inspired by
but I imagine
you.
that must be hard when you're pregnant.
Well, there doesn't seem to be loads.
I see.
I have bought a few things from Depop and Vinted, but they've mainly been oversized things. So like jumpers and stuff that I know I'll wear afterwards, or wrap dresses. That's a good one. Do you know the Dancing Leopard
No.
ones? They're a really nice brand, but it's all wrap dresses.
Okay, and that just makes it easy to adjust,
Yeah.
isn't it? So
Doesn't matter how big you get because it just keeps wrapping out.
that's so handy.
And then actually I'm too big now to wear them, so I'm just wearing them as like a cloak.
Very majestic. I like that.
Thank you.
And then you've got pregnancy leggings on right now.
Yeah.
They look so comfy.
Yeah, do you know what they are? Actually, it's all I wear.
Yeah.
I had a shoot.
And then
the other day.
you seem to be wearing a normal top on top. Like, is this just
No.
no? Okay.
This is
Oh, wow. For those that are
See?
listening, yeah, she's just taken off half her leggings to reveal there's a
stripped
top under the... I thought you were wearing a crop top, and no, there's more fabric going all over the belly.
I think it's different depending on if you're having a baby in winter or summer.
Oh,
Because,
you've layered up.
yeah, like, can you imagine having a huge belly and then just your top stopping? It just feels really exposed.
Yeah.
So I like to wrap the baby bump up. But these are from a brand called Flourish. So I've honestly only really bought probably 6 items through the whole of pregnancy, brand new.
Okay. That's very impressive.
Yeah.
Considering how much your body changes through pregnancy. Well done. That must have been a
you.
lot of hard work.
Well, do you know, I think obviously everybody's different. This is another thing I was going to say about secondhand is that just for normal non-pregnant people,
Yeah.
depending on your sizing, it's really hard to buy like bigger sizes secondhand, isn't it? Then imagine that being bigger sized and then pregnant. Basically anything above a 14 on Vinted, it's quite hard to find. I've just basically put it off for as long as I could. Just wore baggy clothes and wrap dresses. But now it's got to winter, I do feel like I want a bit more like tight things.
Coziness. Okay.
Yeah. There are some really good brands that do like bamboo maternity leggings. Was one called Boob, is it Boob Design or Boob London?
I wouldn't
Do you know?
I haven't bought that much pregnancy gear
You've not
myself,
yet.
I'm sorry.
You've still got time. They're actually really good. And then these are from a brand called Flourish. But yeah, I think it's hard because when you buy something brand new, I know you're the same as me with this, that you want to wear it for years and years to come.
Yeah.
Whereas you're only going to be pregnant for a few more months. So that's the difficulty.
Yeah, it's hard to invest in something that you're going to wear again and again when you're like, well, really?
Yeah.
So what are your plan for all your like maternity clothes once you're done? Are you going to like donate them, sell them online, keep them just in case you have another? Like, what's the deal?
Well, I've been given quite a lot of clothes from my friends as well.
Oh,
so that's another
sweet.
thing. Yeah. I really recommend.
Yeah, because a lot of people who are expecting will have friends who have had babies.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'll pass them down to you because you might be soon.
I mean, I'm not, no, I wouldn't say that kids are definitely in my future, so don't you worry. Yeah, it wouldn't be a good thing if I found out I was pregnant right now, so.
It's also good if you go out for a big roast dinner.
Oh, yeah.
Wear a big maternity.
Yeah, I'd borrow them at Christmas Day, that would be it.
There you go, I'll pass you some on. If they're here by then, I don't know.
And then have you started kitting out the nursery?
Yes.
Yeah, how's that been?
So same again, loads of secondhand stuff. It's quite an overwhelming industry as well in terms of, obviously we're both from the beauty industry.
Yeah.
And I know we've had these conversations before around, we're so grateful for gifts, but when we're sent so much stuff, you realise how much plastic there is. And just, it's quite a sickening feeling when you just get sent so much plastic. I think it's put me off buying many things for the baby. I'd much rather be gifted it or secondhand or like wooden, natural fibres type thing. So it's I'm trying to slip the word into my parents and friends. Just like, I'm really happy if you just get me something secondhand, you know, like I'm really happy with that.
I think some people still find it really hard to, even if you give them permission to buy you a gift that is secondhand, they still struggle to do that. It's so like culturally not really, I don't think we're there yet. I know
so.
some people are different, but even myself, I'd struggle to buy someone a secondhand gift. It's just, it's difficult. I feel like people are becoming a bit more used to it. But yeah, I think if I were told my family, like, get me something from the charity shops for Christmas, they would just would be like, no.
What kind of things have you bought for Ernie?
I haven't bought much, to be honest. I have noticed that quite a lot of my family, especially when he was first born, did just have this compulsion to shop for him. I mean, it's quite helpful because babies do go through a lot, but I mean, he got a lot of stuff. And I think it's so exciting. He's like the first baby in the family, and baby clothes is just so cute. So I think people just like get overwhelmed with how cute they are. They are a lot cheaper than adult clothes because there's like no VAT. And there isn't that much of the like of a price gate to buying these gifts. But yeah, I bought him, what have I bought him so far? Bought him a couple of teddies, one from a car boot sale because they had like this big TY stall at the boot sale, and I was like, oh.
I remember that from your Instagram stories.
And I got so excited. Yeah, exactly. And like me and my sister did, so I was like, oh, just get him one of these. And then
Beanie Babies, aren't they?
Yeah. And then when I ran my half marathon, I got a free RBC Lion for running a half marathon. So I was like, oh, here's another gift for him.
That's nice.
And then I recently bought him my first clothing item, which I just found at Broadway Market, and I was supporting a small business. And I was like, oh, this is nice, this is quality. And it was also quite unisex because my sister probably will have more children. And if she does, I'd like for it to have a better chance of being passed down if her next child was a daughter. So
it's a really
like
good
that
tip,
thing,
actually.
Yeah, it's that sort of thing in mind. And if you know, like someone's got like 2 boys, and you don't really have to worry about that so much. But keeping that in mind when you're buying gifts, I'm like, okay, I'm going to buy quality, and I'm going to buy something that can get the hand-me-downs.
That's the thing as well about spending too much money on something that they'll grow out of in like a month. So yeah, thinking ahead that it can be passed down to a sibling.
Yeah.
Great tip.
Yeah, they were little dungarees. They were well cute.
Oh,
yeah.
Does she want them to pass them to me? I'll have to accept them.
Do you know what? You never know. You never know. So what have you bought secondhand, and where have your go-to places been to it? Because my sisters love Facebook Marketplace.
Yes.
Is that okay? You agree?
Facebook Marketplace is my number one. Instagram.
Yeah.
If you search pre-loved by, there'll be lots of different babies that come up. So, for example, my friend's got one pre-loved by Sienna. Shan, my friend, will list all of her old clothes on there. So you can basically follow babies that have got good style.
Oh my God, okay.
And then you just pay over PayPal. But, for example, on there, I bought a batch of clothes, which was all neutral because we don't know the sex yet.
Yeah.
I think it was £13, and there was about 15 items.
Okay,
Which is
that's very
amazing.
good. That is incredible.
Good quality, like the baby probably wore them 3 times each. Like, that's it. So that's really good. Pre-loved by Facebook Marketplace. One thing I found really useful is a website called Octopus.
Octopus, okay.
I think if you just Google Octopus baby things, it'll come up. They've got things like, I mean, Nicole, you need so much stuff having a baby, like baby bath thermometers, like the
car seats, prams, pots.
So much. But Octopus is all for babies and kids, like all secondhand.
Oh, wow.
And there's all that kind of stuff on there.
Do you generally collect stuff locally, or is it stuff you get sent in the post? Like what generally? Is it a bit of both? Okay.
Yeah, you can pick.
Yeah.
But with car seats, it has to be brand new.
Okay, like legally.
Safety.
Okay.
Yeah. But I've not bought most of that stuff yet, to be honest. I probably should.
Yeah, you don't have long left. Aren't you meant to be, is it nesting? Is that the term now?
Yeah. I think I kind of am, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a hormone change in you when you become pregnant, or I think later on at a certain stage. Because I woke up one day and I was like, today I'm going to reorganise my entire kitchen.
Oh my God.
I was like pouring everything into Kilner jars, and yeah, at the end of the day I was like, I think I've just hit the nesting phase.
And then did Henry come home just being like, where is everything?
Yeah. He was very grateful for me. He's got really good. I wouldn't say OCD, but he's really good at organising.
Okay.
So he was really impressed actually.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so you and Henry, you're both vegan. I'm guessing you're gonna raise your baby vegan.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How are you feeling about that? Are you feeling confident? Are you a little bit nervous?
Well, hopefully I can breastfeed.
Yeah.
That would be the dream. I think a lot of people do have like worries around that.
Yeah.
I don't see why I can't, but I think I need to be prepared to do formula, which is nothing wrong with that at all. But I think when you're vegan, it's so much easier just to breastfeed.
Yeah. Have you found any vegan formulas or?
Yes.
Okay.
So it's getting a lot better now. So the world of vegan formula is a little tricky because there's two, I believe, in Europe, which are completely vegan, and they're really expensive, and you have to have them shipped in from Europe.
Oh my gosh, okay.
But there's loads of dairy-free, like vegetarian ones, really easy to get in the UK. And the reason it's vegetarian, not vegan, is because of the lanolin. You get D3 from the lanolin.
Oh, similar to like Kellogg's cereals. They're not vegan because they have vitamin D in it. That's added.
Really?
Yeah.
Isn't that so funny to think there's lanolin in cereals?
I didn't know if it was not lanolin, but I knew it was a vitamin D thing, and this is probably what it is.
The vegan ones, I think they've got D3 in. I don't think they could sell it without. I think it might be called lectin, which is a plant-based D3, but it's a lot more expensive. They're like the main options, really.
I'll be honest, if I were in that situation where it's like I can't breastfeed, I've had a baby, I probably can't afford necessarily the more expensive ones. I feel like I'd be content with buying something dairy-free, but with the vitamin D that is non-vegan, because I think you've got enough problems on your hands. I mean, it's great if you can go the extra mile, and maybe, I don't know, I'm not in the position, but I think that is something that a lot of vegans would probably be like, oh, that's good enough.
One thing.
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting.
I'm still trying to work it out, but I think I agree. But also, I mean, breastfeeding is so much cheaper.
Yeah.
And if you can imagine, like, buying, like, all these tubs of formula, like, it will build up, it'll be really expensive. So, yeah, you've got to work out what's right for you, I think.
Yeah.
No
and
judgment.
are you already, like, prepared and comfortable just, like, whipping your boob out, like, all the time? Because that's what my sister...
Do you want me to have a go now?
I'll get banned off of YouTube. But it's so funny how like my sister just does it all the time now, and I'm just like, oh yeah, I'm so used to it now.
Really?
Yeah.
I really just don't care. I actually find it quite. Is it the word funny, or is that not? I don't know. Like, it's obviously other people's problem.
Yeah.
So I just don't care. I think the more we do it, it normalises.
This is how I feel about topless sunbathing in the UK,
same.
because I do that all the time.
Do you?
Yeah.
In
Just
the
go
UK?
to like Victoria Park or London Fields if it's like a really hot day.
Is it legal?
It is legal, but you're allowed to do it as long as it doesn't cause offence. So if someone decides they're offended by it, you kind of do need to cover up. But I've never had anyone offended.
That's so interesting. And they come over to say, I'm breastfeeding, my baby's just moved off.
Yeah.
That's so, I didn't know, I thought it was illegal.
I
I'll be
Googled
doing
it.
it next summer with you.
Yay!
Yeah, I think it's just normalising things like that, isn't it? And it's the other people's problem. And especially with breastfeeding, you're literally feeding your child.
It's the most natural thing. Yeah.
Exactly. So yeah, I'm well up for that.
Well, I know that for some women, it just must, because we're quite prudish typically in the UK, so it actually must be a bit overwhelming suddenly being like, oh, it must just be a lot, especially if you get quite self-conscious. I guess as influencers, we're always like, look at me. So we're not we're not really the people that are like, oh my god, everyone's going to stare at us.
I'll be on the tube just so everyone knows I'm about to get my boob out.
I love that. And how have you found it being vegan during your pregnancy? Where do I want to even start with this? Have you been like hyper aware of making sure you're getting all your nutrients, or have you just been eating as normal? Because I know you already are quite a healthy eater. Like, what's happened?
Thank you. I'm not always really healthy.
No, but that again is healthy though, having the balance. So,
exactly. Yeah. Healthy mindset. I find this really funny that, you know, a few years ago on NHS website, it would say that a vegan diet, pregnant or not, isn't healthy.
Oh, interesting.
And now it's like completely fine.
Glad they updated that.
Yeah, and a lot of people have still got that kind of outdated mentality. For example, I had a comment on my YouTube channel the other day. I'm doing quite a few what I eat in a day pregnancy and vegan, because I think a lot of people do feel a bit overwhelmed and nervous of it. And someone wrote to me saying, "You're disgusting. It's not about you. It's about the baby." And that's such an old-fashioned mindset, because now there's Healthline, the website.
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, it's a really good website. Loads of resources on there. They actually say that pregnancy and a child's vegan diet can be so healthy and they can really thrive from it. And I believe also potentially avoid certain illnesses and stuff because of being vegan. So, you know, it's all switching and people have got a lot more faith in it, which is really reassuring to be a parent, but also I think for people around you, because I think a lot of the time parents and friends will judge you for making those big decisions.
And that must be quite hurtful as well, because especially like that comment you said on YouTube where someone's kind of accusing you of, in a way, abusing your child. And that's really quite the statement. And they would never say that to someone who doesn't eat a varied diet, isn't eating their 5 a day when they're pregnant. Like, You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like your diet can be healthy or unhealthy, whether you're vegan or you eat meat. Like some people I know feed their kids pure junk food, but they would still judge me for being vegan and feeding my child vegan. So
Yeah.
it's just, you've got to just have a varied diet, whatever your diet is, or vegetarian or meat, as long as it's like eat the rainbow, eat as many different variations as you can.
I always found the eat the rainbow advice like the most helpful advice.
Yeah.
Because you get different, like generally on different colours, you tend to get the same nutrients sort of thing, isn't it? So
Yeah.
like dark green veg will all give you the same sort of thing, and then the
Yeah.
purpley ones will give you the same sort of thing. So I was like, oh, this is so much easier.
Yeah,
I love that
is.
advice.
Yeah. I eat far too many like tomato-based things, like tomato
Okay.
soups, bologneses, chilies. I need to switch it up a bit more.
Oh my God. And when it's come to like cooking throughout your pregnancy, are you still doing the bulk of the cooking? For anyone who doesn't know listening, your partner is Henry from Bosch, and Bosch
Yeah.
are the cooking duo that do a lot of vegan meals. They're selling products in Tesco. Does Henry cook a lot, or?
Do you want the honest truth?
Yeah, go on.
He doesn't loads. He's doing keto at the moment.
Okay.
Keto diet. So we're cooking quite separate. And honestly, I just love cooking so much. I just take over and don't really give him an option.
Plus, he does it at work all day, doesn't he? So
Yeah, exactly. But he is really creative in the kitchen. So I tend to stick to like my probably like 5 dishes that I
Okay.
always cook, whereas he'll come in and just create something. I'm like, that's amazing.
So it's mostly you're still cooking most of your own meals.
Yeah.
I guess
Which I
as well
love.
because you know your cravings, and I feel like they're probably there for a reason. That's
Yeah.
nurturing your baby. Your baby's like, we want this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You say that, but some people crave like coal and bricks. And I'm like, what is
What?
in a brick that your body is craving?
Well, really, they're just looking at bricks and being like, oh, it looks so tasty.
Yeah, you see people like licking walls of. I've not really seen anyone, but you probably do somewhere in the world. Like it's chalk mud. I think
Really?
that might be because of iron.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a real thing. I've only really craved Caesar salad.
Okay.
So I've been using the Plant Pioneers Caesar dressing.
Interesting. Okay.
And then there's some really good vegan chickens out now.
Okay. Like the chickpeas won't do it. You've wanted the mock meat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
Or mushroom. There's a really good Bosch recipe. It's a Caesar salad. Plug.
Yeah, I know.
My real thing. And it's ripped up mushrooms, and then they turn that into it's literally chicken. You know, you get like a chicken seasoning mixed herbs.
Yeah.
Which is so simple. You marinate the mushrooms in that, and it tastes like chicken.
Oh.
So easy. So easy being vegan, isn't it? Everyone thinks it's so hard and complicated. It's so easy. And then really, I've been craving like a chippy tea.
Chippy tea.
Yeah.
Is that just chip butty?
You don't know what a chippy tea is?
No. Is this a northern thing? Like what is
Yeah.
Do you
My
know what
dog-
one is?
My dog Chippy is named.
Oh, I know what a chippy tea.
Oh, is
I
it
do.
literally just me? Okay.
Is it a northern thing?
It's a northern phrase, yeah, to like say tea. You say like just a chippy over here.
Oh, what? So just going to the chip shop?
Yeah, you know how we would say like, "What's for tea, Mum?" Yeah, that's like dinner
Oh.
up north.
Oh, I'd just say, Mum, I'm hungry. Yeah.
Would you ever call it tea?
No. But I have had, yeah, I do know.
A chippy. That's what my dog Chippy's named after, a chippy tea. 'Cause I love it so much.
Oh, that's so, okay. So just going to a chip shop.
Like really vinegary and really salty things. I think that's quite a pregnancy thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's all you get as well as a vegan? Or do they have like a deep fried Linda McCartney sausage?
No, but Beyond sausage goes
Yeah.
so well with it. So pop that
Okay.
pop that in the oven, nip the chippy, mushy peas, chips, as much vinegar as they can put on it,
Uh-huh.
and then come back and your sausage is cooked.
Oh,
There you
wonderful.
go. That's tonight.
Yummy. So a lot of potato cravings because like after this you've already been like, let's go get some mashed potato.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's true. I think it's just really nice to feel like cozy, and I guess that's part of the nesting thing. Like I've been eating lots of like warm, cozy dishes, hot soups and things like that too. But also, yeah, like you said about getting all the nutrients in, because I think we are supposed to have a lot more protein when we're pregnant. So I'm trying to put as much protein into dishes as I can.
And what's your trick for that?
So I've just got loads of tofu, loads of tempeh, but tempeh in a lot. I have hummus a lot, so chickpeas.
Oh, I love hummus. It's very good, yeah.
Even things like baked beans, honestly, like chili is my go-to because you can just put so many beans in.
Do you put baked beans in your chili?
No, like
No,
black
normal-
beans.
Yeah, good.
pinto
I was
beans, yeah.
like, what?
That's a good idea, though.
I don't know if it is.
Yeah, and also batch cooking. 'Cause I think that's the thing don't you find when you become a bit unhealthy, it's because you've not prepped or you've not like thought thought through. Like you just
Somewhat.
that's yeah.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah, I know what you mean,
Grab
but I never do
something.
batch cooking. No, never my
Do you
style.
not?
No, I think it's something to do with being in a house share, though. There's only so much you can stock at a time.
Freezer
So.
space. And then, same again, just eating so many leafy greens. Like, how nice is kale with oil and lemon and salt on? Just that.
That
makes
is
your
actually
crisps.
delicious, but I have not done that in forever. There was a real kale year, wasn't there?
Yeah.
Like a few years back, where everyone's like, this will make you beautiful and it's so healthy for you.
Yeah.
And then we got over it pretty fast.
We did, didn't we?
Yeah, but
I
you're
used-
still on it.
I used to have one of those jumpers that said...
Kale, yeah.
Yeah.
That's so
mine
vegan.
mine was kale, like as in Hale University. So it was
Oh,
like
Kale University.
Yeah.
Oh.
I love those
Wow.
fun jumpers.
That's one of those how can you tell someone's vegan things.
Yeah.
So how have you had to change up your beauty routine as a fellow vegan beauty guru? What have you had to ditch? What have you had to introduce? Has it been wild?
Yes. It's overwhelming as well. I think I've said the word overwhelming quite a lot.
I can imagine it's very appropriate. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the reason why a lot of things are not considered pregnancy safe is because, well, first of all, as I said earlier, you can't test things on pregnant people.
Yeah.
So the only things that are kind of ruled out are for the reasons of either they've found that ingredient to reach your blood,
Okay.
but it doesn't necessarily mean that
It's harming
bad
the
for the
baby.
blood. Yeah, or bad for for you.
Okay.
It just means that they've found traces of an ingredient in your blood system.
And they don't know for sure how that affects
Yeah.
the baby. Okay.
And then the other one is that they could have used the ingredient in like medical form, so orally or somehow injected into the body.
Okay.
And it wouldn't be good for pregnancy. There's some kind of trace there.
Okay.
So therefore they've just avoided it in skincare. Does that make sense? So I think that a lot of people get really scared of a lot of ingredients, but they're the main reasons why. It's not like they're proven to do anything really horrible to the baby. Another thing is that our skin gets really sensitive when we're pregnant. For example, you can get melasma. Like I've got like brown spots above my lip under my foundation.
I'm looking so hard, but yeah, you're a makeup artist. You know what you're doing.
Covered it well, yeah. And also we could even like things like hair dye. You could have a brand that you normally use and it's fine, but then when you're pregnant, your skin reacts in a different way.
Oh gosh.
So that's another thing. It's definitely doing like patch testing a bit more for things that you don't use very often. I'd really recommend. So the main things that you should avoid are retinols and retinoids.
Oh yeah.
Salicylic acid over, is it 2%? Yeah, over 2%. And then I'm going to have to read this one because I was how to say it. Minoxidil, is it called?
Oh,
Minoxidil.
What's that do?
So that's often in like hair growth serums, so like
okay.
eyelash serums and stuff like that, which is a shame because my lashes have got really short.
They still look great. I don't know what you're talking about.
It's the lash lift from Lack and Strip.
Oh yay!
And sunscreens, the same again, we should definitely be using a high factor during pregnancy because we can damage our skin more, like with the melasma. So I've been doing 50 the whole way through, even in the middle of winter. And it's best to use mineral rather than chemical when you're pregnant as well.
That's the one that everyone hates because of it's more likely to leave a white cast, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is harder in that respect. That's a good point though. I'm currently writing a pregnancy vegan skincare guide.
Oh, that's amazing.
Because there's nothing online like that would explain it really. Like there's a lot of non-vegan, but
Yeah,
good
it's
for
not
us.
applicable, is it?
So I will have a look into that mineral that's if you found any mineral that hasn't got a white cast?
I don't know if they're hybrid ones, so I wouldn't know
Okay.
for certain. But yeah,
got one in
your
mind.
skincare guide we'll put in the show notes once it's published. So if
Thank
anyone
you.
is like looking for any of this help,
Yeah.
I'll leave all of MJ's details down below because
you.
you are such a little guru for this. And like you say,
Thank you.
I think a lot of vegan women must feel very alone because even when you go to your pregnancy groups, I imagine you're not going to find many other vegans there. Like you say, there are a lot of outdated opinions, so you must be second guessing yourself a lot because a lot of people are probably telling you what you're doing is wrong. You've got to be real strong-willed, I guess.
I think that's it, doing your research. Like I'm doing so much research and it's a really big learning curve because there are going to be people that will question it. And you need, being vegan as it is, I think we need to have our like earthling head, a little earthling head on our shoulder with the facts and also just for our own reassurance. But also I'm on my third trimester and I've waited the whole pregnancy, like learning along the way before I really disclose much because I just think you don't want to get this kind of stuff wrong.
Yeah, exactly. Because it is a big responsibility, like helping someone through this.
People ask me a lot of questions.
Yeah.
I'm like, let me really get to know what I'm doing first, and then I'll tell you at the end of the pregnancy.
Yeah. Do you know many other pregnant people at all, or pregnant vegans?
Yeah. One that you know, but I don't know if she's announced yet, so we won't mention that.
Yeah, so she's doing well, but yeah, I was just interested to know if there are any vegans you knew who had been vegan and then kind of gave up during the pregnancy.
I have a lot of questions online. So in real life, I do know someone who's just become pregnant. I don't know what she's going to do, but mainly it's online. People just really confused and like asking questions and panicking. Really, there's not loads of information. There is Dr. Gemma Newman, who's the plant power doctor.
Oh yeah,
she's done quite a lot around pregnancy. She's a doctor and GP, and she's an expert around veganism, and she's got kids, and she's so good. So that's a really good resource to put you at ease. And then there's also Ellen Fisher, a YouTuber. She's got 4 children.
Oh wow.
She shares a lot around nutrition as well. I think just everyone doing your own research and finding whatever.
Yeah, but I do think it does definitely help to have vegan creators on your feeds, because if you don't have the vegan friends that can help you through it, having someone like you and being able to watch your videos must be just so helpful for so many women trying to go through it. Yeah.
I hope so.
Yeah, I hope so too, because there are a lot of misdated ideas about being a pregnant vegan.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it's not gonna you're gonna have a lot of barrage of questions and accusations for a while, even once your babies. Have you had any particularly rude comments, and how have you dealt with them?
I think that's probably the rudest one, the YouTube one.
YouTube is particularly brutal.
And TikTok too.
Oh yeah.
People speak their mind on TikTok, don't they?
Yeah.
But I don't know. I do feel like it's becoming a lot more acceptable now.
Okay.
I mean, I'm so excited to cook for my children when they're ready, like creating really fun dishes and stuff. And,
okay.
And I think it's a challenge to make sure they're getting in all their nutrients, and I think it's really exciting. I'm trying to get Henry to do a Baby Bosch book.
Very cute. I think that'd be good. Or just how to feed the kids vegan and healthy and all that. I think there would be a demand for that, 100%.
There's a really good platform called, what's it called again? Oh, Plant-Based Juniors.
Oh.
I think it's an American brand, but they've got loads of guides of making food for babies and kids and making sure that they're getting all their nutrients.
Okay.
That's
good.
I've been looking at that a lot. I think they've got a guide for when you're pregnant too, just to put you at ease to make sure.
No, it's just really helpful to have all the resources. So how are the grandparents feeling about it? Are they vegan? Are they good with the idea of helping raise a vegan child, or is there any friction in the family?
I'd like to think I'd trust my parents enough to just leave my child with them, and they feed them vegan. Yeah, I think we've got there now in the journey. I think maybe a few years ago they wouldn't have quite understood and just give them an ice cream. It is a worry of mine that, you bring up a child that's not ever had any dairy before, and then they go to a kid's party and then they're fed a chocolate cake, and are they going to get ill from that?
But that is a good caution, because you're you don't want to tell people that your child's lactose intolerant when they're not, but there's a good chance, milk is not, it's quite an allergen anyway for normal people. I think I disagreed with cheese when I was young. I used to get headaches, and I think it did come from eating cheese. And also when people go vegan, their skin clears up because of the dairy often.
Is that because of the things that are pumped into the milk as
Possibly.
well? Yeah, I don't know. What do we do? Put a badge on them saying, do not feed me any?
Yeah, but I always think that, because I like to think if I were to ever have children, I'd be they're vegan, but it's not you don't want to put a huge responsibility on a child, if they're at a birthday party, for example. I don't know. I think I'd be okay, they can have that sliced cake there, or I'd bring a separate cake, would probably be the reality, and I'd be there's the vegan cake, so they're not left out.
Yeah.
But you never know when this sort of thing's going to happen, and you don't want your child to come home and be oh, I ate cake today, and you'd be oh, that's so naughty.
Yes.
Yeah,
I agree. I mean, kids don't want to feel like they're different either, do they? You don't want them to be bullied, or you don't want them to feel like they're missing out. I was at somewhere the other day where it was a garden centre type place with a little ice cream shop outside, and it just dawned on me that there's probably no vegan ice cream in there, and we don't mind because we're adults and we can talk ourselves out of needing it. But imagine if you had a few kids and all of them, not our kids, our friends' kids, all of them ate ice cream, and then ours just wasn't allowed it. Like, how harsh is that?
It feels a bit different, doesn't it? Because because I was vegan as a teenager, but and I'd often have to go about, and it sucked a bit, but it was like I chose it.
Yes.
It was my choice. Whereas with a kid, I don't know. And then there's always the argument of like, I guess you're going to raise them with understanding how animal products come about. You're not going to be like the parents that. Like, oh, yeah, it's all wholesome and this is, normal. I was lied to as a child about where meat and dairy come from. Who knows? Maybe when you kind of explain why with kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's very interesting. There are so many different approaches and, like, how far you can go with it. And I don't think anyone's right or wrong, but, yeah, it must just be so challenging to even figure out personally how far you go.
But I wonder what age they really understand that, though. So if for example, they're 4, are they going to be given a piece of cake and ask if there's cow's milk in it? I think that's the difficult bit, isn't it? But it's really interesting you saying that of, maybe you're a bit more relaxed with it and you had them go to a birthday party and maybe have some cake. But then how often do you have that? To be honest, on the way here, I was excited to tell you this. I saw 3 adverts for vegan meat. There was the Levide bacon. Oh, yeah. The McDonald's plant burger. And this isn't chicken. And I was like, this is the world we're living in now. Yeah. Like, this is what, we've all been working for years to inspire people. And it's really happening. Can we get a high five?
Oh, yay.
Hey! And I just thought, God, like, is it actually going to be that difficult when our kids are growing up? Like, surely we're on the cusp of it becoming so much more normal now. Maybe we won't be faced with that.
Where is it that you live? You live outside of London. You live roughly
in the Cotswolds, Oxfordshire.
Yeah. Do you find there is a big difference between availability of vegan products here versus there, or?
Oxford's actually a great city for it because there's loads of students. It's really like diverse and quite forward thinking. We're only like 15 minutes out of Oxford. So I think in particular, we're in quite a good area. Like most pubs will have vegan options now. Good. But yeah, baby, it's completely different. Like, we missed Deliveroo so much. We missed all the vegan food so much. We might be moving back into London though next year, so we'll see. Yeah, we just need more vegan food.
Away.
I know. It is a really big point though, because food is life. I love food more than ever being vegan. It's a shame not to have all the restaurants on your doorstep.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. On the branch of like living sustainably, so I recently moved and trying to get furniture secondhand, I actually found it quite challenging in London in comparison to like perhaps if I lived like still in Surrey where my family are. And
really?
I think I was just trying to find a chest of drawers like really badly and it was such a struggle. I don't know. I think sometimes these sort of things are harder to source, and even like the marketplace stuff, either things go too fast, like no one has a car, so then going to pick something up you need to like hire a van, it suddenly becomes a lot more expensive. Or I've had a few Ubers look at me like, are you kidding, when I'm trying to like bring like this really heavy mirror in. I'm like,
they want to help you.
No, they're like, oh God, one of these again. But do you find it is easier like sourcing things secondhand, living sustainably, easier outside of London or inside?
Firstly, I suggest getting a temporary boyfriend for the weekend.
It's not that easy to come by, but I like that. You really think that a man would be like, oh yeah, I'll help you move.
You could suggest meeting up that night, but if you can get there for like midday.
Wow.
You're thinking about it now, aren't you?
No, I'm like, you really, like, the lengths you think a guy would go to for someone they're just
look at you, of course they would.
No, I don't know one that would help me move, no. That's so sweet. You think that's the power I have.
But I know what you mean, because we were clearing out the Bosch office a few months ago, and because I moved all my makeup kit in there, and now I've moved it out again, but I was throwing away, getting rid of a lot of stuff, and I did oleo.
Oh yeah,
love oleo.
Yeah, I think you recommended this to me, and then I got rid of a lot of my like excess stuff when I was moving through that. Yeah,
and we got rid of loads of furniture as well.
Oh wow!
But that was the thing, people couldn't get there. I mean, it's the middle of Old Street, and no one knew where to park, or they didn't have a car. So that's a really good point actually, because secondhand is the best way if you're buying furniture, really.
Or even like those secondhand furniture charity shops. Like I've seen them before outside London. They are amazing, and I've always walked through them being like, one day when I need to buy stuff, I'm going to come here. And I'm like, oh, but I don't have one in London. Yeah.
I think this is a good idea for a business.
Yeah, but it takes up so much space, and you know how much it costs to rent space in London. So there is a reason it's not there. I did end up finding a sort of like ex-showroom sort of outlet on like Fish Island, which I didn't know was a thing. It's like East London,
Yeah.
not too far from Stratford. They just had like this sort of showroom stuff that's a little bit damaged, can't be sold full price. It felt like a bit of a TK Maxx sort of deal. So I was like, okay, this suits me sustainability wise, but I end up spending like £400 on this like very gorgeous chest of drawers, which I'll be taking with me through life. I've like committed to it. I've got one bit of furniture now, and I'm like, this is my furniture.
Yeah.
So yeah, I did eventually find a solution, but it wasn't my ideal one that I think I would have had outside of London.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's a lot easier outside where you just rock up in your car. You don't drive?
No.
Oh.
I can't. No.
It's hard to drive in London too. Like,
Yeah.
like to learn to drive in London, I can imagine why you want to put that off because it's really stressful.
I don't know if I'll ever drive. I'll
don't
just
need
live in London
to,
forever,
do you?
public transport forever, easy.
Just carry your second-hand sofas on the tube. I think if you stood at the top of some stairs with the sofa, someone might offer eventually to help you take it down.
Perhaps. You never know. I think you're overestimating how kind Londoners are. But no, I'm living with boys now. So we've just been served a notice. So when we we're moving in December, but at least like we're moving together and they can drive and they can carry things. So this is all good.
That's a good point. I lived with boys, Henry, Ian, and then various of our friends for like 5 years. They just do all the work. In fact, I go on holiday for the day.
I just get out of the way. I'm a nuisance. Never mind.
I'm working that day. I'm really sorry. They'll do it all for you. Or be pregnant, then you can't do it.
Yes. Okay, I feel like my last question, I'll try and think of something a bit more interesting, but I do need to ask you whether or not you're taking supplements.
Oh, yes. Was that you asking me?
Yeah. People have been asking me this a lot, and I'm
Yeah.
like, has she been taking supplements?
Let me just
Good
double
one.
check what I'm having. I have had a nutritionist.
Okay.
Even though we did IVF, I believe she helped me get pregnant.
Okay.
She's called Justine Evans. She's a fertility expert. If you're trying for a baby, I really recommend going to her. You can do online like Skype calls or go in person. But she does, I don't know if is it called kinesiology, where you hold 2 metal rods and you put the pills that you're taking already. So I take a lot of things like turmeric, maca, mushrooms, stuff like that. This is before pregnancy. And then she'll check what your body's reacting to and what it doesn't, like things don't work together for you.
Okay.
For example, my turmeric didn't work well with my CoQ10 or something like that. And then she would get me onto a load of supplements, all really natural, before IVF. And I honestly think that she helped me get pregnant. And then afterwards, she recommended a load of things to have. I really love the brand Inessa, Inessa.
Okay.
They've got a multivitamin pregnancy supplement. It's got everything like folic acid in it, CoQ10, all the iron that you need. But then they also suggest to have, same company, magnesium and calcium supplement. And then they also take omega-3. And I've forgotten the name, but it's the one if you put it on Amazon. I know you're not a big Amazon fan. Omega-3 vegan. It's like the first one that comes up.
Okay.
And that's what I'm taking. But I'm not a nutritionist.
No, of course not.
And I really think that it's worth going to see someone if you're worried. But I think those ones might be the general ones if you're vegan.
Yeah, wonderful. Okay. And I feel like we've covered all the bases. I would love to have you back on when you're like a yummy mummy.
Yes.
And we can chat about how it's all going. You'll probably be like, Nicole, I don't have time.
I'm thinking like, I'm going to do reusable nappies and reusable wipes. But all my friends that have tried it have lasted like a few weeks. I'm really going to try because that's another big thing. Like nappies in landfill.
Do you follow Serena Lee?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's I Am Serena Lee. I'll leave her in the show notes as well because I think she's also a great inspiration on this sort of space.
Good.
Yeah, I think she's really committed to a lot of the sustainability things. And I look at her and I'm like, you have so much patience and determination. And do you know what? She makes it look easy. So maybe it's not as hard as we think. But I think it's a lot of habit setting and a lot of dedication, I guess. Yeah, I don't know.
Really inspiring. I've heard that at the beginning, they go to the toilet quite a lot in the day. So I've heard that that's really difficult if you're washing nappies.
Yeah.
But there are some really good like bamboo nappies and stuff too. So just being organised, I think, and taking the time. Because same with vegan beauty, like I think the biggest struggle is
changing the routine and making it easy.
Yeah, like Boots and Superdrug have got a lot better now, and just having brands that are more sustainable being really easy and cheaper, and just people don't have to think about it.
We can end the chat on nappies. Leave a good smile on everyone's nose.
And on a high.
Yeah. Okay, well, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you so.
Where can people find you? What's your handle?
So EMJ Edit on Instagram. I think also the same on YouTube.
Yep, I'll leave all the details in the show notes
Thank
as
you.
well.
Yeah. Also my website, which I've got all like the pregnancy skincare and everything on, loads of blogs, www.emjedit.com.
Wonderful. Thank you. And thank you guys all for listening and tuning in. We really appreciate it. Please do rate, leave a review as a new podcast. That is super helpful. And yeah, hope you have a lovely day. Thank you for listening. Bye.
Bye.